I paused you, and somehow I lost you. So here I am back on another video. So, do we accuse somebody of not living right? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I judge somebody. I mean, I think it's human nature. So we need to watch and not do that. I mean, that's just something like the scribes. We point a finger at them, but really, are they any different than we were? So what should we get from this passage? Jesus said and did something that the scribes could only know that God could accomplish. As Jesus will be asked, who are you and by what authority you do these things? Jesus will say, I'm the one who has been telling you that about ever since I started doing these things in your midst. I am the resurrection. They still refused to believe as they were not listening or seeing a problem the Jews had. And we do sometimes. We are the same way. We don't listen. I don't know. Do y'all have that problem? I do. Psalms 81:10. I am the Lord your God, but my people would not listen. It's a passionate cry from God for the Jews to hear. So 2 things I want you to take away from this. Steps to learning better for you and I. Be aware of your own stubbornness. Be aware that, forgiveness is such a powerful emotion. Psalms 32:8-9. I want you all to go look at all these, okay, and write them down. And ask God for a listening heart. That's just so important that we learn those keys. Now, as far as healing goes, I've been doing some research on this. Oh, come on, to get to the right page. Now, so healing. The acts of atonement, which are speaking in other tongues. I'm not saying unknown. I said other tongues. Healing, and such as those were acts that Jesus commanded for the disciples because it was needed to spread the gospel. I'm not saying they don't happen now, but they were like essential. We are living in a different age of the church age. We're looking for his appearing. So I wanted you to notice, we get sick because we are born into a fallen world. Also, Satan attacks us. And write these down. 2 Corinthians 12:7, Luke 13:16. God is in it. Sometimes we get sick because God is in it. Acts 13:10-11, 2 Samuel 12:15, 1 Corinthians 11:28-30, and Hebrews 12:6. And sometimes we get sick because it's self-inflicted. And you have to call the elders. And what you can do, John 5:14-16. But now, I want to address one little thing before I leave, where everybody says, well, you could have been healed if you'd had enough faith. Let me point something out. Paul had faith. Paul had all the faith that any of us, you or me, could have had. But God chose not to heal him because through his infirmities, there was a greater biblical message. And I thought about that doctor that Nell kind of witnessed to the whole time she was sick. It's not that we don't have enough faith. It's that God has chosen to heal you on the other side. And when he was healing these people, it was setting up his ministry. And those acts of atonement are not called upon or I don't want to say necessary, but I think what's the right word that I want to say here? Well, until next week. If you have any questions, let me know. I like this thing that we're talking about with all this healing. But remember, it's not that we have a lack of faith. Paul had faith, and God chose not to heal him. Have a good week.